In the legal world, there is a combination of forces that feed a corrupt and suffocating legal system for attorneys. Law schools, law professionals, judges, and even the firms themselves for whom you work create a system, a matrix, if you will, that is nothing like what you thought when you passed the bar exam. The purpose of this podcast is to help you escape this legal matrix, leading you out of the proverbial desert to be free of the bondage of the matrix. Hosted by Bryce D. Nyer, attorney at law with over 30 years experience in the trenches of civil and criminal litigation at the state, federal, and international levels. He's a highly accomplished and resourceful legal professional, a true master of his craft, and he's here to help you get your life back. Here's your host, Bryce D. Nyer.
This is Bryce D. Nyer coming at you from Fayetteville, North Carolina, home of Fort Bragg, and we've got another episode of Escape the Legal Matrix. And attorneys running away, fleeing, bolting the scene of being in bondage. So we've got a great episode today, tonight, this morning, wherever you may be located. And we're going to talk about this subject of distractions. Yes, distractions. How many times a day do you go into work, or maybe go to your workout, or some other thing you want to do, but you don't do it because of what? Because you're distracted. We have so much noise and so many distractions coming at us on a daily basis, every minute, every hour, every day, and then it turns to weeks and months and years and decades, and pretty soon you now are in the distraction death mode. Yeah, it happens every day. And inside the legal matrix, it's designed to distract you and keep you off the path of being the best version of you that you can be, and of rising as a king or queen in your kingdom that you're creating. Remember, this whole thing about Escape the Legal Matrix and Legal Warrior is to open, own, operate, and lead your own law firm in collapsed time, in a reduced time that it takes the average person to do it. And you are not the average person, because you're here listening and talking and having this conversation with me. But what happens in our lives is we become distracted. And it's so easy to do. I mean, our phones are the biggest distractors in this whole wide world. We thought when we got cell phones, they're called smartphones. I'm not sure how smart they are. And we just sit there and our eyes are glued to that small little screen waiting for the next email, the next text message, something to pop up. And what do? We get distracted. And if you think about it, if you were to add up every single distraction every day for just 7 days and add up the amount of time that you were distracted and what it stopped you from accomplishing or doing, I think it would be pretty amazing at the end of that 7 days. You would realize how much of your life is being wasted by distractions. And this happened to me many times over the years of my legal career in the so-called legal profession. And sometimes I wanted those distractions to happen. I wanted those distractions to be there so I didn't have to deal with or do what I was supposed to be doing. And it was no more evident over the last 10 years than the studies done, where people were just scrolling online during work hours on social media, whether it was Facebook, now Meta, Twitter, now X, or whatever social media account that was right in front of your face. And we all did it, and we all found reasons to do it because we were bored and we didn't have any passion for what we were doing. So we allowed all these distractions to come in. Now, there's good news here, and the good news is you don't have to be distracted if you don't want to be. But it takes discipline, and it takes a ruthless commitment to stay focused on what it is that you have to do. I find for me that I have to get up extremely early in the morning. I don't have to. I want to. I mean, it starts my day, gets me weaponized. And when there's complete silence and most of the world, at least in my time zone, is asleep, I get way more done because the phone's not ringing. There's no text messages coming. It's complete silence. I'm in my world, and I get up and I work out and I do certain things early in the morning. So by the time most people awaken, I have accomplished a number of things on what I call my weekly fires, my monthly missions, my daily hits in Legal Warrior to get myself weaponized for the day. Because once the day hits and once the world, wherever time zone you're in, it starts awakening, the first thing they do is they go to their phones and text messages, emails, and the morning anxiety, all that angst, realizing, shit, I didn't do what I was supposed to do yesterday. And now it's tomorrow, and I still don't have it done. And we allow ourselves to become distracted. It's either your coworkers, another attorney, a judge, family members, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, fiance, your dog, something going on at the house, got to have the plumbing fixed, anything. But the point I'm making here is that distractions, they build and they build and they build and they build. And what they can do is they can stop you from building your kingdom. They can stop you from your impossible game that you are going to create about where you are today and where you're going to be a year from now, if you let it. And what I have to do is I have to wall myself off and create this shield to where the distractions can't get in the door. For example, right now, as I'm sitting here talking to you in this recording room here at my office, I have the door shut. I have the door locked. There's nobody here. I've unplugged the phones. I've turned my cell phone off. Why? Because I don't want to be distracted. I want to give you my full attention. I want to be ruthlessly committed to having this conversation with you, to communicate this message about your exodus from bondage in the legal profession in order to reach the promised land, which is freedom. But as you move forward, as you escape, this land of bondage, this nation, you head to the new nation, you're going to have distractions. Some people call them temptations, but not every distraction is a temptation. It's a distraction, but it may not want you to do a certain thing. It just wants you not to do what it is that you're doing. Temptation is commit a certain type of sin, not just be distracted, but be distracted enough to where you take an action or you commit an overt act or a secret act, then you live in guilt and shame. And that can be even more distracting. So I want you to think about, this concept about, where in your world are you being distracted? Where in your world are you allowing people, events, and things to come in and to keep you distracted to where you can't get the things done that you're supposed to be doing? What actions do you have to take? What actions do you have to take in order to not be distracted? And it may be that you're going to hurt some people's feelings, especially when you don't respond immediately to their email or their text message or pick up on the phone right away. And sometimes you just have to go away and tune the world out, disconnect and unplug in order to be completely focused on what your mission is for the minute, the hour, the day, the week, the month, the year. That's what I'm having to do. I have to be razor sharp focused on my impossible game so that I do something every single day and every week and every month to get me to where I wanted to be a year ago, which is a year now later, and collapse the amount of time that it takes to get it done. So for you in law school, you're on this 3-year typical tour of duty, which is already defined about what courses you can take in a year and when you're going to graduate. And regrettably, it's kind of defined for you. Okay, it's kind of defined for you. You're not going to graduate until they tell you you're going to graduate, until you meet the curriculum, the courses, exams, and all that. And you're not going to get a law license, typically, until you pass a bar exam. Now, some states are going to eliminate the bar exam, and they're going to do automatic admission. But until such time as every state or territory jurisdiction does that, you're going to be required to take a bar. But once you're out there in this thing we call the legal matrix, then it's an open war zone. And the distractions will come at you 360 degrees. And you've got to be weaponized, and you have to understand how to shield yourself from all these distractions that will take you off your path, take you off your progress, and basically come in to train wreck your impossible game. Because your domains of body, being, balance, and business and fulfillment are all being attacked every day with distractions. And for many of you, that's one of the key reasons why you're not attaining the results that you wish to attain, because you're letting the distractions pull you off the path. And there's so many of them that you're drowning in distractions. So again, I want you to ask the better question. Where in your world are you being distracted in your domains of body, being, balance, business, and fulfillment that is taking you away from what we call the impossible game, that is taking you away from your weekly hits, your monthly missions, your targets? What is it? Who is it? And what actions are you taking? And what can you do right now today to stop all the distractions? These are good questions. These are the better questions. These are the things that you need to be asking, especially as you move forward to open, to own, to operate, and to lead your own law firm, but mostly lead yourself. Okay, this is Bryce D. Nyer coming at you from Fayetteville, North Carolina, home of Fort Bragg. Remember, ask the better question. Where am I being distracted in my domains? And what can I do right now today to stop the distractions? All right, Bryce D. Nyer, Fayetteville, North Carolina, home of Fort Bragg again, and we are out of here.